Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by Bell Tire. Tonight in Toronto, the Tigers begin a 3-game series against one of the hottest teams in baseball. Sellout crowds are expected tonight. Welcome to Rogers Center. Game 1 featuring the Tigers and the Toronto Blue Jays. Mario and Pep alongside Kirk Gibson. Glad to have you with us here tonight. Given there's no doubt these Blue Jays perhaps the best offensive team in baseball.
Yeah, they are. And when they score, they do it with what they call cluster luck, meaning runs in bunches with lots of hits in a row. Same with home runs. They rarely just hit one in a game. Of all the Jays, though, Josh Donaldson has 34 home runs and 100 RBI. Top 5 in most offensive categories. Might be having an MVP type year. All
right, the Blue Jays are pretty good, but the Tigers have some offense of their own.
They do, and they're right there with the Jays. And, of course, they're led by Miguel Cabrera since his return from the DL. Miggy's hitting .460, 23 for 50, 11 extra base hits, 11 RBIs, raising his average on the year to .367. You might think by those two numbers right there that we're going to have a lot of offense in this series, but you never know. Stay tuned.
All right, after a short break, we'll send you back to the Coliseum Studios. Check in with Matt Shepard. Coming up tonight, facing a familiar foe. Matt Boyd goes up against the team that once drafted him. Tigers Jays coming up next. your expectations of what a bank can be when it's time. Come to Comerica. Ram Trucks, find your summer of fun with great deals at the Ram Summer Clearance Event. And by Breyer's Ice Cream, holidays since 1866. Back here in Toronto, the Tigers and the Blue Jays get set for a 3-game series here at Rogers Center. The roof is open here at the ballpark, and we'll check out the Tigers starting lineup presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. For Brad Ausmus tonight, Tilby Davis leading it off in left field, followed by Ian Kinsler, who's been great on the road since the All-Star break. Miguel Cabrera is at first base. Victor DHing. J.D. Martinez in right. Castellanos at third. And your bottom three tonight features McCann, Iglesias, and former Blue Jay Anthony Gose. And they are facing the right-handed offerings of R.A. Dickey.
Yeah, the knuckleballer. Actually, the first knuckleballer to win a Cy Young in 2012. 65% of the knucklers are strikes. He'll throw it from the low 70s to the high 70s and as slow as 54 miles per hour. See his record of 8-1 with a 4.26 on the year. I think the record was 8-10. I'm sorry.
And here is the defensive alignment for the Blue Jays behind R.A. Dickey, brought to you by Tim Hortons. It'll be Kevin Pillar, who's outstanding in center field. He's got Revere on the left. He's got Bautista in right. Donaldson and Colabello on the corners. Tulowitzki, Goins up the middle. Dickey and Josh Tolle, the battery here. Tolle, the somewhat personal catcher for R.A. Dickey.
Not somewhat. He is. Tough catching those knucklers.
Russell Martin gave it a go earlier this year, and it really didn't work out that well. So they just brought Dickey, or I should say Tolle, back up in the minor leagues.
Yeah.
And so now Rajay Davis, the former Blue Jay, will step in. And here we go. Rajay looks at a strike, and tonight's ball game is underway.
That first pitch fastball.
Dickey working quickly. The 0-1 pitch is a strike. 0-2.
Already started slow this year, but gotten into shape here, throwing the ball very well as of late.
Davis at 245 with 18 RBIs. Here's the 0-2 coming home. Swing and a miss. 3 pitches and 1 out. By the way, if the Tigers combine for 3 or more home runs in this game, bring a copy of the box score to a participating Arby's location tomorrow. You will get yourself a free small order of curly fries.
And that strikeout there, R.A. Dickey, 78 miles an hour. That's what he'll do when he gets ahead of you. He'll throw that knuckler much harder. He doesn't have as good of control against it, but you will expand the zone as a hitter.
Here is Ian Kinsler. He was 1 for 8 in the just completed series against the Angels. And Ian hammers the first one deep in the air to left field. Way back, track, wall, and gone. It's out of here, a home run for Ian Kinsler. 1-0 Tigers. Number 9 on the year for Kinsler.
Well, Ian Kinsler coming into the game off R.A. Dickey, 6 for 16. He doesn't miss this. This knuckler doesn't do quite as much as the one he got Rajay Davis on. Ian barrels it. Ball flies good here in the dome. You can get a hold of it. Tigers up 1-0.
So the Tigers strike first with the long ball. Here's the drive back up the middle into center field as Cabrera wastes a little time. And a single which has quieted the crowd considerably after that leadoff strikeout.
Hey, the Tigers coming out very aggressive here off Dickey. First conversation for Miggy tonight.
The first of many, I assume.
I hope so. He's on that bag.
Here is Victor Martinez. So R.A. Dickey started with a flourish very quickly, but then a homer and a single. Martinez at 241. We'll take ball 1 inside. Last time the Tigers faced R.A. Dickey, it was back in July. In fact, 4th of July, when the Tigers scored 5 against him and put up 11 hits. That's in there, a strike. 1-1. Big crowds are expected for all 3 games in this series.
Has a little bit of the bug here in Toronto, huh, for the baseball team?
They do. They've been playing so well. Victor backs out of there, and the count goes 2-1.
Hockey hasn't started yet.
Dickey this year has been much better at home. In fact, 6-3 at home compared to 2-7 on the road. Drilled toward left center field. That ball is hit well, but it's going to be caught out there by Revere, and Cabrera has to retreat.
Well, the Blue Jays, a lot of activity at the end of July before the trade deadline. They were 50-51, and they were 3 games behind the second wild card spot. Then they since have went 21-5. They're a game and a half up on the Yankees. Pretty good streak.
Well, they are the one team that I think really benefited quite a bit from the deadline deals they made. John Gibbons in his 8th season. That is hammered right to the shortstop and caught by Tulowitzki. JD is out, some hard hit balls, but the Tigers will settle for 1 run on the Kinsler home run. Tonight looked a little nervous there, but then he got involved with some of the Blue Jays fans and loosened up a little bit. And he is set to make the start tonight for the Tigers back here at Rogers Center. He is presented tonight by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Yep, he is kind of back home. 2 starts for Toronto in this building, but now the 6th start for the Tigers. The numbers here are this season with the Tigers. 1-2 record. Throwing the ball very well, though. 15 strikeouts, 6 base on balls. He's got to be a little excited, but if you get through the first inning, he'll be okay.
Here is the starting lineup for the Jays, presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Tulowitzki, Donaldson, Bautista, Encarnacion, Colabello, and Pilar in the middle, and then Revere, Goins, and Tolley. It is a power-packed lineup, especially 1 through 4, as Boyd starts off. Tulowitzki with a strike.
Tulo, one of the pickups, actually was well before the trade deadline, coming over from Colorado. Talked to him before the game. It's a little strange, but a very good atmosphere he's enjoying right now with the Blue Jays.
Jose Reyes, the principal, went the other way back to Colorado in that deal. Tulowitzki comes over and takes over in the leadoff slot.
And his first time playing on turf. I've noticed this turf, we were on the field a little bit earlier today. It's much softer than the old hard turf they used to have in here.
That's up and in from Boyd. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Tulo hasn't really found his stride since he's come on over for the Blue Jays, but has had some good at bats. I know he expects to be a 300 hitter, not quite there yet.
Fouled straight back. Tulowitzki, since coming over from the Rockies, batting .225 in a Blue Jays uniform. But outstanding defensively. He is a 5-time All-Star. And the career numbers for Tulo?
Pretty good. And when he gets the ball, he'll fire it over there to first base. You'd think he'd throw it away, but he never does.
Here's the 1-2. Outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Saw the two-seam fastball right there running off the plate away from Tulo.
Waiting on deck, Josh Donaldson. And a check swing. He almost went but held up. Full count now, 3-2 on the leadoff man, Tulowitzki. Here's McCann flashing signs behind the dish. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Tulowitzki is out of there.
Yeah, Matt Boyd, he's got kind of a deceiving delivery. Look how he stops at the top, then he comes at you, jumps at you. His ball is very lively, sneaky, gets Tulo.
Here's the Tigers defense brought to you by Beaumont Health. Davis ghosts Martinez left, center to right. Castellanos at third. Cabrera is at first base. His 10th start at first base. He's off the DL. Iglesias, Kinsler up the middle. Boyd, McCann, your battery. Here is Josh Donaldson. He'll take a strike on the outer edge, 0-1.
Pretty good year so far from Josh Donaldson. Continues to get better. 34 home runs, 101 RBI.
Backed him out of there, 1-1.
Want to be very careful with this guy. Lets it go. Got to move the ball around.
Now Boyd with the 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. 94 from Boyd, 1-2. Got to be some butterflies for Matt coming back here to Toronto, making his first start in this ballpark since he made his first start, his debut with the Blue Jays in June. Here's the 1-2. Popped him up. First base side for Miguel Cabrera. And there are 2 gone.
Lots of life on that fastball. Got in on Josh Donaldson. He's got the fastball grip right there. Gets it on the inside part of the plate. Has a perfect pitch. Hard to get the barrel out with 2 strikes on that type of location.
Well, here's another guy that can hit the ball out of the ballpark, Jose Bautista. 30 home runs this year for the Jays. He's knocked in 87. Ball 1. Bautista will also walk quite a bit. He's second in the American League with 80 walks this season. And then Boyd missed it outside. 2 balls, no strikes. Blue Jays are 18-5 in the month of August. They have really taken off. That'll miss again.
Just got back from a 8-game road trip. We're 6-2 on the road trip.
Encarnacion waiting on deck. He's taking, and that's ball 4. It'll be a 2-out runner. Another walk for Bautista.
18-5. Merrill just said best win percentage in team history for the month.
Well, here is Encarnacion, who has not had a bad game in a while. In fact, he's hit safely in 22 in a row. It's the longest streak in the major leagues this year. And he looks at ball 1. So Boyd missing again after retiring the first 2 batters. That floats in there for a strike.
Yeah, went away from the fastball, went to the changeup. He throws that changeup for High percentage of strikes.
Encarnacion this year, 26 home runs for the Jays. He has Bautista at first base, who draws a throw.
Bautista does have only one steal. He used to run a little more. Caught twice.
Boyd's debut in this ballpark on June 27th was against Texas. He went 6 2/3, 7 strikeouts, 4 runs. He's a member of the Jays. Swing and a miss. Encarnacion now down to the count, 1-2.
Quick pitch to him right there. And Tulo, he delayed at the top. Right here, he slide step, quick pitch, fastball. Snuck it by.
Elevate the fastball here. And the 1-2. Drill to center field. That ball hit well, and that ball is going to be over the head of the center fielder Ghost. Rounding third and scoring is Bautista. It's a double and an RBI for Encarnacion. Blue Jays caught a break there. That ball didn't hop over the fence. Otherwise, it would have been a ground rule double.
They wanted it more inside. You look at this ball, is going to leak back over the outside corner, and Encarnacion just jumps on it. He's all very strong, and like you said, locked in his 23-game hit streak. But then he gets it in fairly good. The relay throw eludes the relay men, so he had no chance of getting the runner at home. So it's 1-0 Tigers trail. 1-1, I'm sorry.
Well, here is Colabello. He swings and misses 0-1. A 2-out walk to Bautista started things, and Encarnacion makes him pay. Colabello having himself a year, .332 batting average. We've documented his story when he was with the Twins, 7 years in independent baseball just to get a chance. He's really come of age here in Toronto this year. Ball low, 1-1.
And right now he's hitting .393 with runners in scoring position.
Whoa. And that is the situation here after the double by Encarnacion. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss again. 1-2 on Colabello. Blue Jays now have scored 690 runs. They average a little over 5 per game, and that's the tops in baseball.
Yeah, I mean, if you get over 4 runs, 4.2 runs a game, you're in pretty good shape. So they're well above that.
It was Bautista's walk that got it started. And Colabello hits a ground ball to short. Iglesias will play the hop and throw him out. Jays get a run on the double by Encarnacion. base hit, doubled by Encarnacion, and just like that, the Tigers' 1-0 lead has disappeared. And as we go to the second, Nick Castellanos leads it off against R.A. Dickey.
Tigers have really been hurt recently by the walks, especially the 2-out walk.
Yeah, they had, what, 2 of them to the Angels yesterday, which started the go-ahead rally. Castellanos at 247, 15 home runs this year. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike.
The knuckleball, you have to force yourself to wait on the pitch. It's in the 70s. Normally you're facing pitchers that are thrown in there in the 90s. You got to try and keep the ball elevated. Balls down are pretty hard to get on.
Ground ball to short. Right there is Tulowitzki. Castellanos retired, 1 gone.
2012, R.A. Dickey won the first Cy Young by a knuckleballer. Pretty good year, 2.73 ERA, 230 strikeouts. Had it rolling, 20-6. I think he's on pace this year for his 4th 200-inning season in a row.
Well, the Blue Jays gave up quite a bit of talent. There's a drive toward the gap in left center field. That's going to get down. And a base hit for James McCann. Going the other way in that deal were Noah Syndergaard, Travis d'Arnaud, who has been hurt, but Syndergaard certainly one of the big pieces the other way. So Mets able to kind of cash in on that that season that he had.
Wasn't the provision though that R.A. Dickey had to sign when he came back this way?
Did he?
Yeah, they had to work the deal out in advance, but it seems that some trades work out for both teams, and this one seems to be one of them.
Here's Jose Iglesias. We'll take ball 1. Jose was just 4 for 22 on the last homestand for the Tigers. Still, his average is over 300. It's at 302. It has not dipped below 300 at any point this season. In there, a strike called as Ziggy backed out of there. 1 ball, 1 strike. Marvin Hudson, your home plate umpire tonight.
And Marvin's known to have a pretty good strike zone, a little wider than most.
2-1.
This isn't the kind of pitcher you want to hit and run on, would it?
Didn't think so. I also wonder if it's more of a challenge for umpires to call balls and strikes with a knuckleballer up there.
Oh, definitely. And you get somebody on with speed, knuckleballs pitchers are good pitchers to run on.
In the air to center field. Pilar is on the move. 2 gone.
Also, if you're going to catch a knuckleballer, you usually have a little different type glove that looks a little bit more like a first baseman's mitt. You can look at here. Bigger glove as well. I can't remember the width that it can be, but most knuckleball gloves are big. They're shaped a little bit differently.
Ball 1 to Ghosts.
How do you think you do with that? Catching that knuckleball?
I do just fine and wait for it to hit the backstop. Stop rolling, go pick it up.
Yeah, totally did catch him in New York, so he knows what he's got for sure. You know, every day if you go on a baseball field and batting practice, you'll probably see some position players throwing knucklers. You ever notice that?
Yeah, a lot of times.
I never like trying to catch them because if they get a good one, you know it's going to bite you.
Here's the 1-1 runner goes, and a soft one hopper hit to second. Goins throws him out, and that'll end the inning. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the second to Rogers Center. On Matt Boyd.
Well, Mario, we're not that far away from the Hockey Hall of Fame, and when Matt Boyd was younger, he was a hockey player. In fact, when he was 9 years old, his team from Seattle came to Toronto and played in a tournament, and he made his way to the Hockey Hall of Fame twice then. He was a defenseman back in the day. Chris Chelios was his guy, and he followed the Blackhawks because Chelly was a Blackhawk back then. When he was 13 or 14, Chelly did some line rushes with him. We're going to effort to get Chelios and Matt Boyd together. And Gibby, I know Chelly's your guy. You can make that happen, can't you?
Boy, Keats, throw me in the fire, huh? No problem.
Well, Boyd goes to work here as we end to the bottom of the second. Kevin Pillar will lead things off. Well, we had Steven Stamkos was here before the game, taking some BP and some ground balls.
You thought he looked good, huh?
Here's the 0-1. Breaking ball, hammered foul. Keats will have a little bit more on that later on, but he looked like a pretty good athlete on a baseball field.
I didn't see him hit one out. All hockey players want to come and hit one out. You know, they don't realize how hard it is. We had Shane Doan down in Arizona.
A little pop up right side of the infield, and Kinsler hauls it in. He couldn't hit one out there.
No, Mike Smith, the goalie, he's big. I didn't realize he's big. He almost had one. We had Larry Fitzgerald, the football player, out there. He couldn't do it. Give him credit. That's pretty tough to do. Everybody that's watching on TV, do you really think he could, even in batting practice, he can hit? How many people think they could hit it out?
Here's Ben Revere.
I've watched some of the corporate sponsors come down there. Not many.
Revere batting .301, 7-game hitting streak, and he looks at a strike 0-1. Revere sends a slow roller left side of the infield. Iggy scooping, throwing. Oh, not in time.
Let's check it.
Oh, I don't know about that. Sparkling play by Iglesias, who says, take a look at that. Looked like he got him. Well, we'll see.
Iggy did everything he could. Revere totally jammed on this. Gets out of the box pretty good. Got rid of it quick. Kind of hard to see from that angle. Let's see if we can get it here. Don't know if they'll reverse that, huh?
Yeah, and I don't think the Tigers will challenge it. Too close to reverse, I think.
Stop it right there.
There.
I think he's in there.
He's in there. Here's Ryan Goins. So Revere becomes a major threat to run.
And he's got 25 on the year between the two spots he's been. Only caught 5 times, so he knows what he's doing. Very quick and fast.
Goins at .235 has a 6-game hitting streak. You know, I'm not sure there is a shortstop in the American League that is a quicker release than Jose Iglesias. When he gets to the ball, I mean, from glove to hand is so quick.
Well, and usually he lobs the ball over on most routine plays. You ever notice that? It's very accurate, but when he has to let go of it, he lets go of it. There's a lot of velocity on that last play.
Bouncing ball back up the middle. Kinsler flipping to Iglesias. There's a double play.
Very nice.
Little flash involved as well. Kinsler to Jose and on to first to 4-6-3. That'll end the inning. Still tied at 1 after 2. shagging in the outfield.
But he dropped it.
He wasn't able to complete the play. But that's pretty good.
How many times do you think he's throwing that glove up there for that?
Once or twice. There's a ball hit back up the middle on a soft line and caught by Goins for the out. Rajay retired, one gone.
Yeah, you come to BP, there's a lot of things that guys try to do in batting practice. That's one of them. Like I said, the knuckleballs are another. Some guys try to climb the wall. Pitchers that shouldn't. Well, Mariano Rivera is the biggest example of shagging by a pitcher.
Yep. Great example.
I think as a manager, you'd rather have them throw their glove at the ball like Ordelani.
Ian Kinsler stands in. I would imagine the repetition of batting practice every day gets a little bit boring and tiresome, and sometimes you try and entertain yourself.
Yeah, it does. The pitchers are the ones that usually have to stand out there. Position players come on, hit, take one little round of ground balls or fly balls, and then they go into the clubhouse usually.
Kinsler looks at a strike, 2-1. Now the Bernstein advantage belongs to Mr. Kinsler against Dickey. These are updated numbers with the home run in the first inning, 7 for 17. The home run was hit to left field. It was his 9th of the year to make it 1-0 at that point. And
he's also just received back-to-back fastballs from Dickey. That's very unusual for RA. But he hit the knuckleball out, so maybe he thought I'm going to cross him up here. Gonna get another one.
Bouncing ball down in his hands that time, scooped up by Donaldson. 2 gone. We'll bring up Miguel Cabrera.
Gonna watch the signs here because he put down a 1 and 2 knuckler, so I guess number 1, which is normally a fastball, is now the knuckleball. Yep. 60-mile-an-hour knuckler there.
Fouled away. Dickey is 40 years of age, which for a knuckleball pitcher is not certainly as much of an issue as it would be for a conventional pitcher. Tim Wakefield was 44, and he was still pitching for Boston. Swing and a miss.
You know he has Tiger ties, right?
R.A. Dickey?
Yeah.
How?
He was drafted by the Tigers in 1993.
Nice little nuggets.
Is that a stretch, or is that
no?
Is that real?
No. Your Tiger tie. Who was your last Tigers ties? That was a real stretch. Somebody had been coached by somebody in the Tigers system.
Sid Manji. Salas.
Yeah. That's a stretch. Got him in the outside corner. Biggie didn't like it. Ooh, he didn't like it at all. And Marvin Hudson is hearing about it. All right, Dickey gets his second strikeout. And a 1-2-3 third. trip from the Motor City to Toronto to enjoy this 3-game series and hopeful of a Tigers win or 2 or 3.
Always been a lot of fans that come to Toronto. It's a good town to come to, good place to watch a baseball game. You know it's going to be played. If it's raining out, they close the roof.
Josh Thole leads it off for the Blue Jays. The number 9 hitter, followed by Tulowitzki and then Donaldson. 1-1 ball game. But outside, 2-0. Matt Boyd had himself a 6-pitch second inning, although he did have a double play mixed in there.
Yeah, he wanted that pitch too. And compared to Miggy, I think it's similar.
That's in there, 2-1. Thole batting .241 this year. Second stint with the ball club. And he pops that one up foul. They get back out of play. Thole was called up again because Russell Martin was having difficulties catching the knuckleballer Dickey. In fact, took a couple off his thumb the last time he tried to catch Dickey, so they want to keep him healthy. Thole recalled, and he backs out on the ball high. 3-2. I don't know what it is about certain guys, but they're able to corral that knuckleball better than others. 3-2 pitch. High fly ball left field. That ball hit pretty well. Davis on the move, still going back. Rajay just about to the warning track. 1 out, time for a game break. Here's Trevor Thompson. Score. Thanks, Trev. As we play here in the 3rd in Toronto, Troy Tulowitzki will step in now against Boyd. He'll look at a strike. Tulowitzki struck out against Matt in his first at bat. Boyd had just 2 starts with the Blue Jays in this ballpark before the trade to Detroit. One was pretty good. He won 6 2/3, striking out 7, but it was that second start against Boston. Matt could not get out of the first inning. So kind of mixed results. He was originally drafted by the Jays in the 6th round in 2013. One and two.
I think Boyd's had more successful with that, been more successful with that pitch, fastball in on the hands of the righties. Of course, he threw the one to Encarnacion, he got on it. Change up here.
Went out and got it. Deep fly ball to left field. Back goes Rajay to the wall. It's gone. Tulowitzki drives a changeup over the wall in the left to make it 2-1 Toronto. What they do.
Yeah, this isn't that bad of a pitch. It's down and on the outside part of the plate, but Tulo stays with it. Doesn't peel off it. A lot of guys will pull the bat out of the zone, but Tulo got length on the swing and just hit it right off the sweet spot. Out of the park.
16th home run for Troy Tulowitzki on the year. We have been mentioning he really hadn't done a whole lot with the Jays offensively since coming over.
Yeah, I'm not sure he's that comfortable after coming from Colorado. It's quite a different environment.
Big swing there by Donaldson. Josh Donaldson popped up at his first at bat. Here's the 1-1. you could speak to putting on the uniform of a different team after so many years with one ball club. It's a little bit strange, isn't it?
It is. Just, I mean, just the different color and the different feel of the uniform. It takes a little bit to get used to. And Tulo was the face of that franchise over there in Colorado for many years. And
that ball's hammered way back, and it hit the foul pole. A home run. That thing was headed to the top tier of Rogers Center. Donaldson with a mammoth homer.
Josh Donaldson is a very smart hitter. He's been getting pounded in, and he sat on that one, pulled his hands in, barreled it, and it went a long way. It's up there off the third deck to face it. That made it go up there.
I thought originally it hit the foul pole, but you're right, it hit the facing of the upper deck. That is a long way up there.
Well, as I said, Boyd has kept coming in with that fastball, and I think he's just kind of looking in there. He's having such a great year that he's able to pull his hands in and hit it out. It's his 35th home run on the year, 102nd RBI.
So Donaldson, who leads major leagues in RBI, runs scored. He's added to his totals. Here is Bautista.
Quick bat right there.
Back-to-back home runs has this crowd involved. Off speed is in for a strike.
I was talking about it in the open. This team, this Blue Jays team, they get hits in clusters, and it's really hard to figure out how or why. You're trying to make good pitches, but when they get rolling, it's hard to shut them down.
Well, they have hitters 1 through 4 in this lineup that all have outstanding power. Big swing there by Bautista. He has not homered in this game, but his walk with 2 outs in the first set up a run. Here's the 1-2. Drill to left field. There goes Rajay back track to make the catch.
Well, we're going to take a look at Josh Donaldson again on this home run swing. Said it's a quick bat. That ball comes off it even faster. 103.5 miles per hour. There you can see the average. So that's quite a bit above that. Got out of here quickly.
It is the 8th time this year the Jays have gone back-to-back with home runs. Encarnacion drilled a double to center field to not get a run in the first.
I know that Donaldson and Bautista challenge each other regularly as well. Of course, they're right next to each other in the lineup. Do some push each other's buttons a bit, challenge each other.
Here's the 2-0.
Looks like the Tigers are trying to get the ball down and away now.
And already now for Boyd, the 4th 3-ball count. Also 50 in the pitch count. He'll take 3-1. Encarnacion extended his hitting streak to 23 straight with an RBI double in the first. Swing and a miss. 3-2.
James McCann telling him to shake out there.
And he lost it, ball 4. 2-out walk for Encarnacion. Don't forget to stay tuned to Tigers Live. Following the game, we will select the Fox Sports Detroit Tigers Player of the Game, presented by McDonald's Steak and Egg Burritos. 2-out chance now for Colabello, who bounced out to Iglesias in his first at bat. 3-1. The Jays have taken the lead. Back-to-back homers here by Tulowitzki and Donaldson. One on Colabello.
Boy, did you see that swing? His top hand came right off the bat. Must be a front arm guy. Watch the top hand comes right off the bat. Releases it with his top hand. Not getting cheated on that swing.
Wood was about to deliver, and time was given to Colabello, who came in 5 for his previous 9 at bats. Seems like all you have to do is be inserted into this lineup and you automatically hit. Even a guy like Colabello is having a career year. 13 home runs, that's a career high. Batting over 330.
I think he's gotten a little more playing time, a little more consistently too. He's got a good opportunity. He's made the most of it.
Now Boyd with the 1-1. That is hit a mile high down the right field line. Foul. Long run. Kinsler still coming, and he hangs on and makes the catch. Almost overran it, but Ian makes a terrific running play.
He did.
Kinsler ran 1.5 miles to get to this ball and was able to squeeze it. But the Jays have gone ahead. Tulowitzki, Donaldson, back-to-back homers. And it's 3-1 Toronto.
Josh Donaldson, the kind of the year he's having. Looking at the AL MVP front runners, Josh Donaldson. Of course, we had J.D. Martinez down there at the other end, and it's kind of the time of the year the discussion starts to take place. What do you got on that, Mario?
Well, Donaldson, I think for me, is the front runner right now. I know Trout's WAR is high, and he's having another really good year. As Martinez fouls it back, but you know, it's a pretty good list. But I think, Gibby, I'm still going with Donaldson at this point, but it's still a month to play.
And the other thing is we've omitted the pitchers. Did you notice that?
Right. Right.
And Keuchel would be a guy that we both talked about that would be a guy that could sneak onto that list.
Yeah, no question. Leading the league in wins and up there in ERA.
Now, I can tell you that the MVP will go down to the end, and I don't know if it's supposed to go into the voting, but it does, and the impact any player could have on his team. It's not just the numbers. The numbers certainly, you know, make a difference, but I think when you kind of carry a team, or you have some special moments going down the stretch, I think it has a huge impact on the voting.
Victor waiting on a 2-2, and he'll follow back. Well, what do you think about that? I mean, do you think it should just be the raw numbers, or should impact on your team and how many games your team wins have an effect?
I don't know. There's criteria. Most valuable player. What does that mean? I mean, it's the most valuable to your team, doesn't it?
It does.
You know what I mean? So I think you have to take in the intangibles, and that certainly has to weigh into the voting process.
Bouncer back up the middle. Way to the outfield. Grass is going. Long throw, and Victor is out by a step. Man, oh man, he went a long way to get to that ball. 1 out.
I think you can see where they're playing him very deep. Going way to his right. Takes a running throw to first base, and Victor's going about as hard as he can go. He always seems to really be gingerly around that bag on that left knee.
Every time he runs like that, hard down the line, I just hold my breath.
Yeah, I do as well.
Here's J.D. Martinez, who lined out to the shortstop Tulowitzki. High towering fly ball in the shallow center field. It's Pilar calling and catching. 2 outs. I will say this about the MVP though, Gibby. Had Miguel Cabrera not gotten injured, man, his name would be smack dab in the middle of that count.
He would be right in there. His average is MVP type right now. His production as far as RBIs aren't what they normally are because he's missed the time. You never know though. Whoever has a strong finish, there could be new names on that list.
Here's Castellanos.
Do you think a pitcher should be on it?
Well, I was all for it in 2011 when JD won the Cy Young and the MVP. So I guess my answer would be yes. It's in the center field for Pilar. We can continue that conversation when we go to the bottom of the fourth. A 1-2-3 inning for R.A. Dickey.
We're wondering when is he going to run out of innings. You can look here. They review 2013 in the minors. Not many. 133 to third last year. This year 114 and 30. Add those up. He's at 145.1 on 26 starts this year. I think they'll give him about 170 innings. So he's got about 25 to 30 innings left. 5 to 6 innings to start. That's going to give you what, 5 or 6 starts, and that could put you on either right around the Cleveland series here on the 13th of September or KC on the 19th.
Pilar leads it off with a single here in the fourth. And those numbers are based on what the average has been for his innings to this point, correct?
Yeah, and it's just, you know, I can tell you that the Tiger staff, they're mapping it out on the calendar. It always changes, you know.
Sure.
If he throws an 8-inning gym tonight,
right,
then you've got to take that consideration. You have to readjust it. But just kind of on what's been going on, just kind of project out a little bit. I know there's been some talk and some questions to Brad by the media. And that's the way it shakes out.
Well, the leadoff man out now for Ben Revere. Jays had picked up their 5th hit of this ball game. And Revere takes ball 1 high.
So I think that if he got into a real long inning here or something like that, you might consider taking him out if his pitch count gets up high, because he hasn't really, when he gets into uncharted territory, that you would really err on the side of caution, protect him for next year.
There's the ball inside.
At the same time, you want to push him along, because you want to get into that 200 inning plateau.
Right.
Maybe in the future.
You know, and I remember talking to Rick Porcello about that very thing, because Jim would take him out, you know, in the 6th or 7th after he would have a really good outing, and he would have done that or did that for his first 3 or 4 innings, or I should say seasons in the big leagues. And Rick, his point was, how am I ever going to get to 200 if I'm not stretched out year by year by year? And finally, it happened for him. Then, of course, he went to Boston, but there is that part of development too.
Yeah, you want to get there, but you don't want to blow out. You know, you don't want to have surgery in the process. So this is why they do it this way.
Strike called on Revere.
I think it's interesting to watch young pitchers or young players, how they respond to some pressure that's been put upon them. You just see a 3-1 count after a base hit. Young Boyd.
It's your favorite thing. The crowd is booing you after a throw to first base.
You know what you do, don't you?
Do it again.
Yeah, you throw another one, you get them a little louder. And I believe in using the throw over to slow the game down.
Oh, look out. Up and in for ball 4. And the first 2 have reached for Toronto.
I think he just rushed this a little bit. See Jeff Jones on the phone. They're going to get somebody up in the bullpen. So let's go with this ball way back. Doesn't get it out front. And Ben Revere, hello. And that's not intentional by any means. Although the Blue Jays have been pretty frisky here in some of the series with their opponents and issues like that.
They have indeed. They got into a dust-up with the Royals earlier this year. Yordano Ventura. There's Ryan Goins. Let's see what they have planned here for Goins. He is the number 8 hitter. There's the action of the Tigers' pen. That's Drew Verhagen.
Yeah, they probably good bunt right here.
No sign of it, and he'll look at a strike. Usually tied at third.
Yeah, the third baseman usually gives a sign, and they had a sign on for the first pitch. It must have been just no regular, and it's going to stay the same.
Now, is scratching your beard a sign?
Could be. I've known pitchers that have done things like that to give the sign to the catcher. See, that was an inside move. We're on to something.
All right, let's see what Castellanos does now, if anything. They're tied at the corners.
In case there is a bunt.
Two on, nobody out. 3-1. Jays lead. We're in the 4th. Goins goes fishing. 0-2. Goins knocked into a double play back in the 2nd. Could use one of those right here. He has been getting on base a large percentage here in the month of August. His on base percentage is .449 this month. Soft line drive to center field. Ghost will play it on one hop base hit. That is going to load the bases. Pilar held up to see if it would fall, and it did.
One of the disadvantages of playing on turf. This might be a ball that you would come in and try and dive for, but on the turf you can't do it, because if you don't get it, it's going to bounce over your head into the wall. See, he was thinking about getting it. See the dirt come up, so you're left with no choice but to play that ball on a hop.
They're going to be loaded for the number 9 hitter, Josh Thole, after this conversation breaks up. Goins was behind in the count 0-2 and then loops a single to center field.
Need a 1-2-3 double play.
It was the 6th hit of the game for the Jays. Strike 1 to Thole. Thole flat out to left, his first hit back. They're loaded up. Pilar, Revere, Goins. McCann down to his knees to stop it. 1-1. Well, he gave up back-to-back homers in the 3rd. Now they're full here with nobody out in the 4th.
Castellanos in at the corner there. He'll come home on a ground ball.
Strike call. 1-2.
Matt Boyd's curveball really drops down late. Looks like it's going to be high. Thole gives up on it. Marvin Hudson said it caught the edge of the plate.
Bouncing ball to second base. Kinsler fires to second. There's one. And the relay is a double play. A run will score as Pilar comes in to make it 4-1. The Tigers turn 2.
Well, we didn't get the 1-2-3, but we got the 4-6-3. Trying to cut that inning off. Pretty good job by the young Matt Boyd to get the ground ball. He's got 2 double plays tonight when he's needed them.
You can see the tools are there, can't you? I mean, the fastball mid-90s. It's been 94 tonight. The depth on the breaking ball.
I see a kid that's been in trouble and has really kept his composure pretty good. And you can kind of watch body language. You can see guys speed up too much. And James McCann's done a good job of getting him through it.
Tulowitzki hammers one to left field. Rajay on the move to make the catch. So they will settle for 1 run. And the Jays add to their lead now 4-1 Toronto. Law firm, official legal services sponsor of Fox Sports Detroit. Bell Tire, get the lowest tire price, period. Bell Tire. Myers, save big with M-Perks from Myers. Sign up at mperks.com. And by Chevrolet, find new roads. Nighttime here in Toronto as the Tigers trail the Jays 4-1. We are headed down to the top of the 5th inning at Rogers Center. And back out there is R.A. Dickey facing the bottom 3. McCann, Iglesias, and Gose. Dickey had a 1-2-3 fourth and a 1-2-3 third. McCann got it for a single back in the second. And James looks at a strike 0-1. Opponents at home this year batting just 198 against R.A. Dickey, and his ERA is nearly 2 runs lower at home this year.
Why do you think that is?
He's on the road. I don't know. We talked about this before the game. This is not really, I guess, known as a pitcher's ballpark, yet his numbers are so much better here. Why? Is he just a little more comfortable?
Well, it's your home park, number one. You got your fans here. I think you're comfortable on the mound. Your depth perception. You're just familiar with the whole arena. And it's been proven at home field it gives any team an advantage. So I think more than not you would have pitchers that would have more success at home. Position players like to be at home as well.
Here's the 2-2. McCann sends a ground ball to second. Goins has it. 1 out. Hey, by the way, Saturday, September 5th, the Tigers take on the Indians at 7:08 p.m. Fans are invited to stay after the game for a fireworks spectacular. If you'd like tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. One away now for Iglesias, who hammered one to center field. He's 0 for 1. That at bat was back in the second. Dickey fires in a fastball there at 84. 1-1.
Yeah, when he gets behind in the count, he'll try and sneak a fastball in there. Especially now that he's got the lead, he's not going to get behind these hitters and get himself in trouble. It's cost Matt Boyd a little bit tonight.
Strike called inside part of the plate. 2-2. To right field. Bautista. 2 gone. And now Dickey has found a groove. He's retired 10 in a row.
Yeah, working very quickly. Really controlling the strike zone. He's got a real good feel for his knuckleball right now as far as location and speed. And being tough on the Tigers.
Wave and a miss by Ghost.
Anthony Ghost got his foot down real late that time. The hitter, you want to get your front foot down sooner than later.
Ball 1. Anthony played here in Toronto each of the last 3 years, parts of each of the last 3 years. Chops one slowly but foul. I think he's not messing around, is he?
No, he's pretty quick. We've been timing him here. The truck's been timing him about 12 seconds in between pitches. That tells you a little something. Give me that ball. I want to throw another strike.
He chased that time, and down goes Ghost. 11 straight retired by R.A. Dickey. Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire.
Matt Boyd against Josh Donaldson. First at bat, pounding him in. Ends up getting in on his hands, and he pops up to second base for the second time. Starts off in again, and he's going to come with a breaking ball. Tries to sneak in there again, and Josh Donaldson is waiting. Hits a home run.
So here's Donaldson now in his latest at bat as we start things in the bottom of the fifth. 4-1 Toronto.
Yeah, the good hitters, you know, you start getting into your second, third at bat, they figure some things out, and they have good hunches, but you still have to execute it, and he did.
Out in front that time, 1-1.
Nice changeup right there. 1-0 changeup. Donaldson's thinking he's coming with the fastball. Call that pulling the string.
Ball outside from Boyd, 2-1.
I think if you're going to go in there again, you got to go way in. Got to have an impact pitch. He needs a strike here, though.
Drill to left field on the move, Rajay Davis. One gone here in the fifth inning. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lights. These guys hit a lot of line drives. Here's Bautista, who hit a line drive to the left fielder back in the third. Driven deep left center field. Goodbye. It's gone out of here. Another home run for the Jays, their third of the night.
That first pitch right here, it's just right down the middle. It's up a little bit, not up far enough. Looks like maybe a changeup grip. Didn't see the speed on it, but Jose Bautista centers it. 5-1.
Well, I know it's little consolation, but at least all three of the homers are solo shots. Tulowitzki, Donaldson, and now Bautista, but the lead is now 5-1 Toronto. Strike called on Encarnacion. Edwin spent some time with the Cincinnati Reds, was then dealt after the 09 season to the Blue Jays for Scott Rowland. He's put up some big numbers here. Outside.
Well, I know that it's got to be tough. These guys are just on a roll, and it doesn't matter what you throw sometimes. They're going through an uptick cycle. This is exactly what they've been doing over the last month of the season.
Uptick is putting it mildly. Leading the majors in runs per game, so they're just about at their average now. They average 5.43 runs a game.
Well, again, if you're going to try and come in, you got to really get it in there.
Check swing, strike call. Encarnacion was not quite sure what he wanted to do there, and he's out on strikes.
Yeah, he might have got caught looking for something else. Well, we've been talking about the offensive numbers. First in virtually every category, 5.43 runs a game. Lots of extra base hits. Home runs second to the Yankees, I believe. Second in walks. I think they're first in on-base percentage as a team.
Boyd delivers a strike to Chris Colabello. Pop-up ground out for Colabello. More action in the Tigers bullpen. Guido Knudsen has joined Tom Gorzolani. swing and a miss. Out in front was Colabello.
Had a good pitch right there. Looked like a changeup. Turned it over nicely. Ball moved away and out of the zone through the swing and miss.
Got him. Strike 3 in the outside corner. Colabello has a beef with Marvin Hudson. Stand in line. They get another run. Bautista with a homer.
John Keating back here in Toronto. This was earlier today at Rogers Center. We had to look twice. Is that Steven Stamkos of the Tampa Bay Lightning out there taking batting practice and making some terrific plays at shortstop? Yes, indeed it was. And, of course, the Blue Jays are Canada's team, and Steven Stamkos is absolutely a rock star in this part of the world. And while the Tigers are looking at September, down Woodward, some of the Red Wings have begun their informal workouts in advance of going to Traverse City and setting about the process of the 2015-2016 hockey season. We can see hockey from here. Gibby, I know that pleases you.
Absolutely. Got to shut Stamkos down, don't we? Get the defensive cores, get him on it.
Here's Rajay Davis to get things started here in the 6th inning. The Tigers down 5-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Rajay swings and misses. Look out. There goes the bat. Stamkos, nice job, man. He was making some barehanded plays on some of those ground balls.
They kind of bounced it out there. I think that was staged.
Oh, it was?
Yeah. No, he did pretty good. He's pretty athletic.
I know this. They tell us he hit 2 out.
He did?
He did hit 2 out. That's official. Ground ball to third. Donaldson. Ooh, Rajay almost beat that out.
Yeah, hustling. You got to keep hustling.
1 gone here in the 6th inning. This was really close.
Yep, he hits it, puts his head down, and goes hard all the way. He also almost pulled his foot off the bag there. Forced the issue.
Here is Ian Kinsler. He got the Tigers off and running tonight with a solo home run 2 batters into this game. Drive this one to center field, right at Pilar. Coming in, diving, can't get him. It'll drop a base hit for Kinsler. Dickey had retired 12 in a row before that base hit.
Yeah, pretty good jump by Pilar right here, and you see kind of lays out. Fortunately, he gets a piece of it, or Ian Kinsler would have been on to second.
I know this turf is a little bit spongier and softer than it was in the past year, but that's still got to sting a little bit.
It might, but I think that they've improved it so much that they probably doesn't get all the scrapes that they used to get.
Now Miggy stands in, looks at a strike.
Miggy's due.
He took a called third back in the third. Didn't like the call. Had a little chat with Marvin Hudson. Now the 0-1. Fouled away 0-2.
Really throwing that ball hard to Miggy, that knuckleball. Trying to keep it away from him.
Cabrera had a whale of a homestand. He hit .520 on the recent homestand. Back him out of there 1-2.
Dickey holding the ball on Miggy right there. Little gamesmanship there. See if he doesn't quick pitch him here.
Swing and a miss. Cabrera is out on strikes, 2 away. 4 strikeouts now for R.A. Dickey. Hey, it's time now for you to tweet your strongest fan photo. Use hashtag Detroit DataStrongFan. You just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. Brought to you by T-Mobile. If we took a selfie in the booth, you think it would be selected?
No.
Really? No shot?
Not with us is the product.
Speak
Couple
yourself.
bald guys, huh?
Oh, easy.
Big glasses.
You're not painting a pretty picture. 0-1 on Victor Martinez.
Now we'd be in the running. Come on.
Of course we would. Fly out, ground out for Victor. Kinsler dropped a single into center field. He's there now with 2 outs. Inside. Goins, the second baseman, is playing extremely deep at second and short right field, and that turned out to be huge in Victor's last at bat because Victor hit one back up the middle and Goins is able to cut it off and throw him out. Swing and a miss.
That ball's really dancing right now. It's really got it working. Here it is right here. See the knuckles? The knuckles are on the ball. Really fouls through hard.
Now the 1-2. Thought about it. 2-2. Martinez was just 1 for 12 in that series against the Angels and came in batting .200 in the month of August, so it's been a challenge for him.
Well, I mean, he's swung the bat good from the other side. He's hitting over 300 against the lefties, but just struggled from that against right-handed pitchers all year. Went on the disabled list, came back, had a pretty good run left-handed, but seems to have worn down again.
Yeah, he had that 2-homer game against the Royals. Drilled down the right field line. That ball is going to get down and go up against the wall. Kinsler on his way to third. They put the stop sign up, and he will stop at third base. A long single for Victor Martinez.
Played well by Jose Bautista out there. Victor got on top of that, got it down in the corner, up off the wall. You always want to make a good relay throw if you're the outfielder. That's your job, nothing more. Bautista plays it perfectly. So there's the home field advantage. A nice throw. Of course, on this turf, it's okay to one-hop it because you're going to get a true hop into the cutoff man.
So here is J.D. Martinez. A couple of hits here in the 6th inning for the Tigers. Dickey, by the way, gave up 11 hits in his last start, which equaled a career high. That was against the Angels. But they won the game 9-5. J.D. waves and misses 0-1.
Here's the pitch to Victor that didn't do a lot. There you see the grip. Not much spin on the knuckleball. It just kind of hangs up in the zone. Victor puts it in the corner for a double, or for a single. Kinsler on the third.
Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. 7-5 now. The Blue Jays have out-hit the Tigers. Dickey has not gone to a 3-ball count at any point tonight. He went around, it appeared. Yes. Manny Gonzalez said he went.
They saw it up, thought it was going to come down, but it never did. And he definitely went.
Jays getting some action now in their bullpen. Only 73 pitches for Dickey. Missed it high, 2-2.
Would like Dickey to make a mistake here. Let JD hit it out of the park. Get the Tigers back in this game.
Mark Lowe warming up in the bullpen for Toronto. Here's the 2-2. Fouled away. Martinez enjoying a 7-game hitting streak.
75 pitches for R.A. Dickey. 19 is the most of any one inning. That's in this inning.
You know, as you say the home run thing there, Gibby, JD did hit a 2-run shot off Dickey earlier this year.
And we need one right now.
This would be a 3-run variety if he can hit one out. And again the 2-2 outside, 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Be interesting if Nick gets on, if JD gets on, will Gibby let R.A. face Castellanos.
Fly ball right field. Going to stay in the ballpark. Bautista to the warning track, and that is that. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left. We go to the bottom of the 6th at Rogers Center. Along with Kirk Gibson, glad you are with us here tonight. And we knew coming into this ball game, Gibby, for Matt Boyd, it was going to be a challenge against this offense.
Well, this Toronto offense is doing what they've been doing, and Matt Boyd hasn't thrown the ball that bad. I think he has kept his composure. He still continues to battle. He's still in the game, and he'll learn from this experience.
Meanwhile, R.A. Dickey went on a pretty good stretch where he retired quite a few in a row. In fact, 12 in a row before the Tigers got something going, but couldn't break through in the 6th inning. So the Jays now have Pilar leading it off. Boyd back to work. And a ball low and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Kevin Pilar is single and a pop-up. is hit in the air to shallow right. Kinsler back, Martinez in, and JD hauls it in. Here's our Comerica Bank game summary. Dickey, 6 innings. He's thrown 77, hasn't walked anybody in this game.
That's unusual for a knuckleball pitcher.
Kinsler is 50th multi-hit game of the year. How about that?
That leads the league, doesn't it?
It does. And Tulowitzki, Donaldson, Bautista with long balls tonight. As we mentioned, all of them solo shots for Toronto.
You know, I talk about how I think Matt Boyd's learning from this, and it's not really what anybody wants to hear. I mean, you want him to shut him down. The kid's 24 years old. He does not have a lot of major league experience. He's going against the hottest and one of the best lineups in the league right now. So, again, I look at the composure that he's keeping. He continues to throw aggressively. He's attacking. He's throwing all of his pitches. You don't see him aiming the ball. You're looking, you know, how's he going to be in the future? How do we protect him? We've talked about that tonight as well.
Slap to left field, but Rajay had him played perfectly. 2 outs now. Time for a game break, and Trevor Thompson. All right, Trev, thanks. Here it is 5-1 in favor of the Blue Jays. And a check swing, strike called on Ryan Goins. Goins had a single as part of that 4th inning in which they loaded the bases with nobody out but settled for 1. And that's part of the maturation process that you talk about, Boyd, and the fact that they had him loaded. They hit 2 home runs against him the inning before. And he got himself a double play ball.
Got 2 double play balls this game. Absolutely. Like I said, he continues to attack. In this bottom of the Blue Jays order, though the names may not woe you very much, I mean, they're the top 7 through 9. I was reading an article today. They lead the American League with in the average on-base percentage.
That was the 9-pitch inning for Boyd, so he straightened it out. Still 5-1. Rogers Center. One of the Tigers minor leaguers received a pretty nice award. We're talking about Michael Fulmer, who was acquired in the Yoenis Cespedes trade from the New York Mets. Pretty good, Gibby.
Yep, named Eastern League Pitcher of the Year. You can see with Binghamton and Erie, 5 starts with them, 10-3 record, 2.16 ERA. Now he was actually in consideration to come up. I think it was discussed by the Tigers to bring him up had Randy Wolf not come available. So he's a guy that definitely was key to the trade and the key to the Tigers' future.
Castellanos leading it on. There's a shot he might come up in September, or they just let him finish off his AA year and then start new next year.
It'll be interesting to see. He'd be right on the edge. They're going to have to put him on the roster at the end of this year anyway, I believe.
Right.
There's time limits. You can only hold a guy off the roster, the 40-man roster. So my guess it's just see how he finishes up, and he might come up for a brief appearance if he does. I don't think they'd have him do too much though.
Here's the 1-2 swing and a miss. Castellanos out on strikes. If he does come up, there is value even if he doesn't pitch a whole lot in just seeing what the big league scene's all about.
Yeah, that's one of the thoughts. Bring him up and have him travel around and experience the environment, the routine. Have him throw the bullpen and throw his bullpens. Maybe you give him a start. I don't know that they want to bring him out of the pen. Just have him throw his bullpens, like stay on the stay probably. Not too much though. But if they need him, they could get him in there for a start. If Matt Boyd runs out of innings, maybe he's slated for one start.
Here's McCann with one out.
But rave reviews, good scouting report on him. Throws the ball well.
Foul back 0-2 now on James.
Yeah, Dickey's gotten stronger as the games went on.
Sure has. He had 3 consecutive 1-2-3 innings. Tigers got him for a couple of hits, but no runs in the 6th. McCann shoots that one foul. Just foul.
You heard the story about Ari Dickey climbing Mount Kilimanjaro, didn't you?
I'm not sure I have.
Yeah, I mean he did. He was a literature major in college, and he read a book from Ernest Hemingway, The Snows of Kilimanjaro, and he took his bullpen coach from the Mets and one of his teammates from Cleveland, and he climbed Mount Kilimanjaro.
Just like that.
Just like that. I mean, this guy, no wonder he's getting stronger.
No kidding. Now, was climbing Mount Kilimanjaro ever on your list?
It wasn't.
Yeah,
Which I think Brad's may want to take a look at this ball. He thought it might have been fair.
Well, I thought it was fair, but that was just by the naked eye.
But it's in front of the fielder. I think that's the determination. Do we have that? I thought maybe I didn't see it to the end there. They don't have chalk. It's paint, and there's no grass that won't fly up. So I mean, it looked like just from that possible it could have hit the white line.
Well, Brad now says he wants to talk to Hunter Wemstead. Where did it hit? It hit right here.
It doesn't leave a mark on the turf. See this angle right here.
Ooh, great angle right here.
Well, it looks like a little white bounce up there.
Yeah. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Look at that.
Brad pleads his case to no avail.
Yeah, Hunter's not going to change that call. So the count stays 0-2 on McCann.
He kind of reminds me of his dad, Harry Wendelstedt, who was an umpire as well.
He was a long-time Major League umpire.
It looked to me like some chalk came up.
So it's 1-2 on now on McCann. Swing and a miss. And McCann will run down the first, but they'll complete the strikeout. 2 gone. 2 away. The college football returns to Fox and Fox Sports 1 beginning Thursday when former Michigan quarterback Jim Harbaugh makes his debut as head coach of his alma mater and leads the Wolverines against the Utah Utes. The only place you can see it is on Fox Sports 1, streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
Well,
there's the mark.
We're speculating that that could be the mark right there.
By the way, did you know that Hunter Wendelstedt's name is Harry as well? He just goes by Hunter. That's his middle name.
I did not know that.
Yeah, just to kind of differentiate between himself.
In 2 households, if they're both in the same household, then.
Right.
Here's Iglesias. He'll rip that one foul. Well, it looked early like the Tigers might be on Mr. Dickey tonight. They homered against him in the first inning, had a couple of hits in the first couple of frames, but then he just put it on lockdown.
Yeah, they were hitting the ball hard. Actually, the last J.D. Martinez ended the first inning with a liner to the shortstop. Victor line went to left field, and he had the home run. But he's made some adjustments and got control. That knuckler has been very elusive.
And that'll be a walk for Iglesias. So 2 out, base on balls. If you're wondering whether or not or why Brad didn't challenge that play, you can only challenge fair or foul in the outfield, not the infield.
I think it's behind the umpire, because if it's in front of him, they say it doesn't make any sense. They probably should change that. I mean, if it's missed, it's missed. I think that's their goal, always to get it right.
1 ball, no strikes on Ghost.
But I think Brad went out to ask him about it, but he got the explanation you just gave.
Now 2-0. Tigers, after a couple of strikeouts, get a walk, and Ghost has put himself ahead in the count. Get a couple more runners up and bring the tying run to the plate. Or at the top of the order, at least, see if they can do some damage. High fly ball right field. That's going to go to the corner. That ball is hit well, and that ball is out of here. Anthony Ghost with a 2-out, 2-run shot. Coming back to Toronto and taking Dickey deep to tighten this game up. It is 5-3.
Well, that's what we needed. 2-run home run right here to match the Blue Jays. Tigers on their way back. Anthony Ghost gets one out front, gets the knuckler over the wall. That's going to be it for R.A. Dickey.
We'll get a nice round of applause as he leaves, but the Tigers have tightened this one considerably. 5-3 ball game. Wall side windows pitching change. We'll be back.
Really had his knuckleball going after the first inning home run from Ian Kinsler. Just really had the knuckler dancing, kept the Tigers off balance, could not center it up until the Anthony Ghost home run here, the two-run home run. R.A. Dickey 6 2/3, 6 hits, 3 runs, only 1 walk. That was to Iglesias before the home run. We've got a new pitcher, Mark Lowe.
Rajay Davis looks at a strike, so this will be a much different look now with Lowe coming in.
43rd game. ERA 1.87, much harder on the right-handed hitters. 53 strikeouts, 11 walks. Pretty good ratio for a pitcher.
Here's the 0-1. Fouled back. 0-2 now on Rache. 2-run shot. Anthony Gose, his 4th home run of the year after the walk to Iglesias.
Well, kind of a fastball slider guy. You can see the ball sinking. Can be firm at times, up to 95, 96 miles an hour.
Swing and a miss. Rache is out of there, and the inning is over. However, Mr. Gose has made it close. It's a 2-run shot. Now 5-3. Includes a Grandparents' Day t-shirt and a pregame stroll on the field, available exclusively at tigers.com/grandparents. New pitcher now, and a wall-side windows pitching change. Drew for Hagen.
In his 6th game, ERA of 4.05, whips a little high because he's got the 6 walks, but has been throwing the ball better as of late. He's been very effective against right-hand hitters as well.
Deoner Navarro will pinch hit against Verhagen. So Tolley is out of the game along with his battery mate R.A. Dickey. Navarro and then Tulowitzki and then Donaldson.
Yeah.
224 for Navarro. That hook stays high. 1-1. That's in there, a strike on the outer edge.
Nice curveball, dropped it in there late.
Navarro backs out of there. 2-2.
Fastball, curveball, and a split.
Tulowitzki waiting. Bouncing ball, first base side, foul ball. Three home runs tonight for the Jays. The Tigers have hit 2 of their own. Kinsler and Gose. Ripped down the right field line. It is a foul ball.
That was a splitter there that didn't do too much.
Verhagen has transitioned from the starting rotation to the bullpen.
As I said, he's much better against righties. That's why Blue Jays countered with the left-handed hitting. I switch hitting Navarro.
Ooh, good breaking ball there. Navarro's out.
Excellent. Let's take a look at Big Boy's big play of the game. It happened in the third inning. First, Tulo hits the changeup out over the wall. Raji just can't get up there high enough. And then Josh Donaldson sitting in the weeds on an inside fastball. Back to back. Put the Tigers down 3-1 at the time.
Verhagen down in the minor leagues. Had 26 strikeouts in 20 games between AA Erie and AAA Toledo. That's inside 1-0.
Yeah, you can see he's got a good frame. He's tall. He's got good angle to his pitches. He tries to keep him down in the zone. He's basically throwing a fastball, then a curveball. He's got a little run in sync with the fastball.
Tulowitzki is 1 for 3 with his homer. Missing high, and the count goes 3-0.
If he walks Tulo, this would be his 7th walk in 6 games. So it's got to get more control.
Lost him.
Better command. Yep.
1 on, 1 out. And now more beef coming up with Donaldson.
Yeah, we've talked about the home run power and the home run threat, the offensive threat of the Blue Jays. So certainly don't want to give somebody a free pass before they come up.
Now the MVP chant starting to rain down from the sellout crowd. Sanchez, the right-hander, warming up in their bullpen. Pulled foul down the third base line.
Well, look at the numbers. Compare them to 2010 and 2014 to 2015. Having a career year. 4.9 at bats per RBI. That's way better than he's ever experienced. OPS is up. It looks like he's on every pitch that's thrown up there tonight.
That one whistled foul back out of play 0-2. Made his second All-Star team this year after 4 seasons with the Oakland Athletics. And Verhagen has gone ahead 0-2.
Yeah, Donaldson's got a pretty good leg kick. Kind of big. Have to really be coordinated to have this timed up. Got to get that foot down and keep your hands back. We call that the ready position, and obviously he's been doing a good job of it this year. So when that pitch comes in there, just watch how much pronounced that leg kick is.
Got him, strike 3. Donaldson caught looking. Verhagen a couple of strikeouts.
Well, Verhagen has got the good curveball. You can see Donaldson gives up. He thinks it's going to be high. You can see by Fox tracks there. Here's the leg kick. When you get the off-speed pitch, it's hard to stay back. Really, with his position, it would have been hard to do anything with that pitch. Nice strikeout there by Drew Verhagen.
Verhagen has some pretty good leverage. He goes 6'6", 230.
Tulo not much of a threat. Only 1 stolen base this year. He used to steal a lot, but he had the hip injury. Really had him out for almost a season. I think he had surgery as well. So more stationary on the base pass.
Bautista sends a ground ball foul to third. Verhagen born in Roy City, Texas. Lives in Rockwall, Texas. 4th round pick of the Tigers in 2012. Roll to left field, base hit. That'll advance Tulowitzki to second. 2 on and 2 outs.
to just, you throw these guys heaters, boy, they don't miss them, especially when it's out over the plate. He got a leg kick as well. He didn't used to do that when he was with the Pirates. Gets it out front, but it's kept in the ballpark with 2 outs here. Tigers are not away from getting out of this inning. You have the big 2-run home run by Anthony Ghost last inning. This has got to have a shutdown inning here. The Tigers are within 2 runs. Got to hold them down. Get a guy on base, hit another home run, you've tied the game. Get that ball down.
Ball 1. Jays tonight 1 for 4 with men in scoring position. Encarnacion doubled over the head of Anthony Ghost in the first inning, tying the game at 1. That scored Bautista, who had walked with 2 outs. One ball, 1 strike.
Hagen bringing in there pretty good tonight, 96 miles an hour on that last pitch.
Encarnacion with 5 home runs in his last 8 games entering play tonight. Inside, 2-1.
Tell you, Encarnacion, you know he's locked in. If you just watch his hands, he's got so much movement in him, but he's gets him back. He starts him low, and he's going to bring him back up by his shoulder.
Low, 3-1.
He looked for that fastball. As soon as he saw a curveball, he just took it.
Colabello waiting on deck. Now the 3-1. And he lost it, ball 4. Second walk in the inning to load the bases with 2 outs. Now he'll face Colabello. Jonesy coming out to have a little chat.
Yeah, you want to go out and settle the young kid down. Talk about what you're going to try and do to Colabello.
Well, Red Wings 2015 Hockey Fest returns to the Joe Louis Arena Sunday, September 13th. Enjoy an unforgettable day of hockey-related activities, including a chance to meet current players and Red Wings alumni. For Hockey Fest tickets, call 313-471-7575 or visit DetroitRedWings.com.
You have some action in the Tigers bullpen at Tally Feliz.
Boyd went the first 6, gave way to Verhagen here in the 7th. They've loaded him up for Colabello. He is 0 for 3 tonight. Way outside, 1-0. .313 this year, or career with the bases loaded this year, 2 for 8. Shot foul at home plate, 1-1. Colabello, a ground down pop up and a strikeout, 1 of each tonight.
2 strikeouts, 2 walks, and a base hit. Gives you your bases loaded, 2 down.
Outside, 2-1.
There's that 1-1 count we were just talking about. Does it go to 1-2 or 2-1?
When it goes to 2-1, the average is much higher.
Right. So that's a really important count to be in demand and control of.
Swing and a miss. Ooh, 96 at the letters.
Gasolina there. Up in the zone, he couldn't get on top. Tom Gorzolani is trying for these. See the pitching coach in the background there, Nick Bellmeyer. He's the guy that answers the phone, tells them and prepares them for the next hitter or the hitter they may face. Is he aggressive on the first pitch? Does he take it on the first pitch? Make sure the pitcher is prepared for when he gets on the mound.
Swing and a miss to strike him out. Colabello is out of there, and so are the Jays. And Verhagen walks off the mound with a huge strikeout. He strikes out the side, as a matter of fact. And the Jays leave him loaded.
Verhagen, youngster, is really seasoning well. The strikeout of Navarro. Then Josh Donaldson with the breaking ball, and Colabello in the inning with the bases loaded. Showed great composure right there. Tigers coming to bat, just trailing 5-3.
Sellout crowd on hand here, and a new right-hander coming on. It'll be Aaron Sanchez for the Jays.
Pretty good numbers for this kid. 53 strikeouts. He will walk you 38 walks. The bullpen is much better than it was in the first half for the Jays, but the Tigers need to get somebody on base. Somebody run into one.
Bullpen in the second half is at an ERA of 2.03 for the Jays. Justin Smoke comes in to play first base. Navarro stays in the game and catches. Well, Sanchez going to have to do the heavy lifting here. Kinsler, Cabrera, Martinez in a 2-run game. And it's in there, a strike called on Ian. A 2-hit game tonight for Kinsler, single and a homer, 50 multi-hit games this year. Pulled on the ground is short on the backhand there. Tulowitzki, long throw is dug out by Smoke, and he pays immediate dividends down at first base. What a play on both ends.
Yeah, it worked out good when things are going good. That's what happens. Troy Tulowitzki goes far to his right. I've seen him do this jump throw many times. And Justin Smoke is about 6'6". Long reach and the pick. Not an easy play. Got to tip your head on that one.
Or points. One of the two. Big play because now Miggy does not represent the tying run. 1 out, and Cabrera looks at a ball outside. Bouncing ball to the right side. That'll be routine there for Goins. And there are 2 gone. As promised earlier in the game, we have selected the Data Strong fan photo of the game. Tweet your strongest fan photo to hashtag Detroit Data Strong Fan for a chance to have it featured in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile.
You're supposed to tweet that? They tweeted it?
Yes, tweet your favorite fan photo. So if you're at the ballpark, take a selfie.
I did my tweet for the year.
No.
There's a line drive caught on the wrist.
We'll pick up this conversation later.
Hard hit ball, 1, 2, 3 innings. Sanchez gets 3 outs. Middle of the 8th. Here's the upcoming matchup presented by the Michigan Office of Highway Safety Planning tomorrow. Buck Farmer will go for the Tigers. He'll be opposed by Drew Hutchison.
Well, Buck Farmer is just about his 3rd start coming up and getting an opportunity. He's got good stuff. ERA doesn't show it, but he'll get another opportunity tomorrow. Drew Hutchison. Were you guys saying Jack would like to see this guy pitch?
Yeah, Jack doesn't. Jack believes that wins and losses are important. Well, he's got 12 wins, but his ERA is what?
5.06.
So there are some that say that wins is an overrated stat.
Well, I know Jack got some runs occasionally too now.
He did.
So
that's a good point.
It's like a little bit about the pot calling the kettle wet. No.
Why don't you have a conversation with him?
Yeah, no, you guys will tell him, I'm sure.
We have over and over. Here is Neftali Feliz taking over now. And Feliz will take over for Verhagen, who struck out the side but loaded the bases last half inning. Way outside to Kevin Pillar.
Not so many fastballs on the first pitches lately by the Tigers to the Blue Jays. Blue Jays are very aggressive earlier in the game.
Fouled straight back. He had a rip at a 94-mile-an-hour fastball.
Neftali been throwing the ball decent lately. Lots of velocity. That slider has to be good as well for him to be effective.
Hammered foul down the right field line. Ben Revere waiting on deck. Tigers trying to keep it right here, 5-3. They will have Martinez, Castellanos, McCann in the top of the 9th. Way outside, bouncing in 2-2 on Kevin Pillar. Matt Boyd started this game, then gave way to the bullpen.
Yeah, Roberto Osuna, right-handed pitcher, being to try and save this game for the Blue Jays. Young kid was in Lansing in the Midwest League last year to start the season. come a long way. So that's could happen in the Tigers as well with the Tigers.
Phillies going to have to hurry, but he's not going to get there. Infield hit.
I don't think he could get his glove the way he wanted it right here. It's off to his right side. His glove just didn't have his feet spread apart. A little off balance. Unable to get his glove on it properly. Pilar beats it out. Ideally, you would hope the pitcher has a balanced landing, but not many do. If you watch games when you come to the ballpark or watch them on TV, you usually fall to one side or the other. That was the case.
Here's Ben Revere. Single walk fly out.
Gonna watch Pilar. He's got 16 bags, only caught 3 times. He will go. It's very big that you don't let the Jays score in this inning. Down to your last 3 outs.
The Tigers can counter with the McCannon behind the plate. Swing and a miss.
Well, James has shown you give him a shot, he can do it. He's thrown out over 40% of the would-be base stealers. He's only going to get better throwing from his knee. We've seen that several times.
That's in the air towards center field. Goes on the move. Stretching out to make the catch. Anthony Gose out in center field. Nice play.
Pretty good catch right there. Gets a beat on it. He knows he's got to go for it. Out in front, holds on to the ball when he hits the carpet.
There's Ryan Goins. Goins knocked into a double play in the second, singled in the fourth.
We have to take our time and keep Pilar close.
Strike one in the outside corner.
If you're a catcher and you throw the way James McCann is, you almost half want the runner to go, so you can gun him down, help your team. See him looking in, getting the signs from the bench. What you want to do? You want to throw over?
There he goes. McCann will throw down a second. It's high. The tag, not in time. Stolen base for Pilar is 17.
Actually had a pretty quick throw. I had him just below a 1.9, which is way above average, but the throw's a little high. Pretty good tag right there.
It's a big insurance run now in scoring position for the Jays. Meanwhile, 0-2 on Goins. Phillies facing the bottom of the lineup here. And a swing and a miss. Down he goes. 2 gone.
Take a look through it right by him. Neftali with some good life on that fastball right there. Here's our high-speed pitch brought to you by Xfinity. Neftali Feliz, 96 the high, the low of 81.
So here is Deontay Navarro now with 2 outs. Navarro looks at a strike, 0-1. He came on a pinch hit in the 7th inning and struck out. Batting just .222. veteran catcher. High fly ball in the air toward left center. Now Ghosts and Davis, and Ghosts will make the catch.
Looked like he lost it for a second, but recovered.
So we'll go to the ninth. Here comes Osuna.
Matt Boyd, this had to be a surreal experience for him tonight. The chance to pitch against the team that traded him away at the trade deadline. You'll also have the post-game comments from Brad Ausmus immediately following the game on Tigers Live with Simo and Rod and Trev in our Call Sam studios. But upstairs now to Mario and Gibby.
All right, Jeff, thanks very much. And the closer is on now, Roberto Osuna for the Jays.
Yeah, he's been pretty dominant. 15 out of 16 saves, 16 opportunities, ERA sub-2.
Ball one to J.D. Martinez as we get things going here in the ninth.
Pretty firm, pretty good slider as well, and a change. Tigers need to get a runner on any way they can. Get that tying run to the plate.
Ball two. Osuna is just 20 years old and he's closing games in the big leagues. Out of Los Mochis in Mexico. He was born in Cuba. Here's the 2-0. And he missed again. 3-0.
Attaboy. We'll take the free pass. Put ourselves in play. Nick on deck. Just trying to look down here. Lefties had more success off Osuna than righties. Looking at the Tigers lineup with a pinch hit. Either Alex or Tyler Collins down here at the bottom of the order. Maybe Raji Davis.
Sanchez had a 5-pitch 8th inning, and now he's giving it over to Osuna here in the 9th. Swing and a miss. 96.
It's 96. So Osuna's got good angle. He's a tall kid, lanky. He's got a very live arm. That ball exploded right by him.
Made only 8 starts last year, returning from Tommy John surgery. Got him, strike 3, and J.D. knew it. He tried to coax a walk.
J.D. got up 3-0, but Osuna comes back. Just locks up. 96 mile an hour at the knees. One down here in the ninth.
Here's Castellanos. Nick is 0 for 3. Struck out in his last at bat. And he looks at a strike, 0-1.
Really popping that glove.
Osuna was a starter in Lansing a couple of years ago in the Midwest League. Had the Tommy John, missing most of last year. Nick had himself a rip there at 96.
When you get a guy that's sneaky like this, that has all that velocity, your tendency is to overswing. Actually lengthens your swing. You got to really try and be shorter to the ball. Just try and get that barrel on the ball and let the fastball velocity do the work.
Now they go 2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. 96 again. 2 gone. Fans follow the Tigers all season in 2015 with MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball. At bat is up to the moment. At any moment with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, and more. Get MLB.com at bat on your smartphone or tablet. Now here is James McCann. Solid crowd getting into it now. McCann swings and misses. Steady diet at 96.
Yeah, right there, just below the letters. That makes that 96 even harder, even more explosive. Hard to lay off it.
Swing and a miss again. 0-2. 45,518, a sellout. Their 5th consecutive sellout, and they're on their feet. For the 0-2. Impressive. He struck out the side. Yeah, the Blue Jays win game 1.
Got down 3-0 to JD, and then came back and struck him out and just dominated after that.
5-3 Blue Jays, who hit 3 home runs tonight. Tigers drop the first game of the road trip. We'll be back.